Justin Boyd, Liberty University. Scottish Reformation. So this is my video defense for mapping the covenant, spatial politics, in peasant resistance in Reformation Scotland. The questions I had are, how did peasant households in Kilmarnock and Ayr adapt pre-1560 devotional practices such as household altars, vernacular prayers, communal shrines, do that into early Protestant worship routines? What patterns emerge when mapping iconoclastic incidents and covenant signing gatherings across Ayrshire parishes? In what ways did Kirk's session minutes from Kilmarnock and Ayr record negotiations over tithe burdens, communion token distribution, and lay oversight of discipline? How do vernacular inscriptions on communion tables and tokens reflect divergent theological emphasis between Kilmarnock and Ayr laity? The evidence I had goes into 4 sections: architectural and architectural remains, social and ritual practice documents, and judicial and administrative records. So in the architectural one, I was looking at the ruins and structures of churches in Kilmarnock and Ayr. Different ones were Kilwinging and Crossregule. The burial grounds I also looked at. They provided critical material of evidence for the architectural evolution in a classical site. The organization of the parishes and the commemorative priorities of the lay patron. Domestic charters, legal agreements, Kirk session minutes, accounts, and rental rolls. Record of allocation of land, financial obligations, grants of church estates, and the daily operations of ecclesiastical governance and lay resistance. Social ritual practice documentation. Kirk's session records and parish accounts from the late 16th century onward preserve detailed documentation in ecclesiastical discipline, poor relief management of bequest, and the mediation of parish boundaries and disputes. Witchcraft trial minutes. Kirk discipline cases, secular court proceedings illustrated the functions of ecclesiastical surveillance, morale regulation, and the deployment of judicial mechanisms for religious and social control. The methodology I used were prosopography and social network analysis, comparative and interdisciplinary analysis, quantitative demographic and economic analysis. So that consisted of applying to the people of medieval Scotland the databases and lay ecclesiastical relationship factoids, reveal patterns of the ecclesiastical patronage, kinship, and social interactions spanning generations and across institutional boundaries. Comparing the architecture and ethnographic studies was the analysis of burial practices and ritual and the rituals associated with it. That would highlight the regional variation in the resilience of pre-Reformation traditions in the early modern period. The analysis of rental rolls, account books, and population surveys provided economic context and helps chart changing structures, kin-based succession, and material bases of peasant and lay agency. So the conclusion that I have of this is the peasant communities of Kilmarnock and Ayr actively shaped the Scottish Reformation by reconfiguring the church spaces and rituals to align with their popular piety. The building on pre-1560 household altars, vernacular prayers, and communal shrines, then harnessing covenant theology and organized mobilization to negotiate with Kirk authorities, utilizing GIS mapping and Nivivo coding, what I used to look for this, with the Kirk session minutes, the material cultural analysis of the communion tokens, was able to see the peasants pressing for simpler worship forms, equitable tithe burdens, and lay oversight of discipline. Legal petitions, iconoclastic actions, and vernacular inscriptions together reveal a distinctive bottom-up Reformation in Ayrshire. And so the rural laity leveraged spatial governance and theological networks to remake both the physical and doctrinal landscape of early modern Scottish church life. So basically what I found out is before I started this, I believed that it was all top-down. Overlooking at this, I lot of it was top down, but it was also bottom up in the changing of the ways that they did things at the local level. So that's all I have. Thank you.